I'm glad Pasha's here to help me out. Good morning. This morning we're going to begin our class on our backs. So recline back all the way into your back. If you need anything under your knees to help make this comfortable, please do that. Or perhaps if you need to, instead of having your legs extended, feet a little bit about as wide as your mat and knees knocked in toward each other for support. This can provide a little bit more spaciousness in your low back. So just take a few moments to explore and see what's going on. Maybe you're in a place this morning where you'd actually rather take a supta padottanasana. And if you're feeling comfortable with this kind of openness, vulnerability, if you're feeling very courageous, maybe this is something you want to explore. If you're having more of a middle of the road morning or evening, as it were, maybe leave your legs out straight, kind of like a Shavasana shape. Soften your focus. Allow your eyelids to drift closed if that is comfortable for you, and if not, you can leave them open. And simply allow yourself to arrive. Anything that's already happened does not concern you now, anything that you've got coming up, you can let fall away for the moment. If you need it, it's going to be waiting for you after this class. And so instead, offer yourself the gift of being present in your breath and in your body. Notice the quality of your breath and see if you can even out your breathing so that your inhales are about as long as your exhales. And as you expand on your inhalations, it feels as though you're expanding on all sides. So you can actually feel your rib cage go outward and back, your back pressing into your mat if you are reclined. And as you exhale, imagining concentric circles coming inward. Take a scan of your body. Notice if anything feels tighter than usual, looser, warmer. Are there any cool spots? And then with that, see if you can even that out a bit. If you find some tension, encouraging yourself on exhales to release it. If you feel a little bit of coldness, encourage some warmth into those areas, maybe even finding just a little bit of movement. We're not fully in a Shavasana. And I invite you to take a look at your thoughts. Simply notice those qualities if you have been really calm, perseverating, generous. Just notice what those patterns have been like, and if that has been serving you lately, and if not, what can you release to create space for growth and for peace? And if you're already on that path, then offer yourself some gratitude for some hard work. Make an acknowledgement that there's more to come. And then we'll take a few breaths together as community. Take a very deep breath in. Exhale to let go. If there's any of those thoughts that you're not particularly fond of, let them go. Take another very deep breath in. Imagine that the breath could go all the way down through your legs to your toes and your arms to your fingertips. So all the way up, hold at the top for a moment. Exhale, let go. And then one more time on your own. And then if your eyes are closed, begin to blink them open. Invite some movement back into your body through your fingertips and your wrists and your toes and your ankles. Take a good morning stretch. If you took one of those different positions like a utkatasana or knees toward each other, slowly remove yourself, set the props to the side if you use them, and then just find a little bit of gesticulation, pendiculation, a little bit of stretching, getting longer, pointing your toes, flexing your feet, again, moving through your body. What do you feel like this morning? Just taking a couple of mental notes. I'm going to take a banana asana shape. So walk your legs over toward the upper corner of your yoga mat, cross the left ankle over the right, and then arc your upper body over to the right. You could even take your right fingers to your left wrist for a deeper stretch to the side of your body. Draw your left shoulder down to the mat. On an exhale, take it to the other side and cross the ankle. Both feet over to the other side. Cross your right ankle over the left. Left index and thumb to the right wrist, drawing your right shoulder down and shoulder away from your ears as well. And then take it back to center. Bend both knees, place your feet into the mat, then extend your right heel toward the ceiling. We're going to take a hand to toe pose. So if you like to use a strap, you could do that here. Wrap your fingertips around the back of your right thigh. Your knees can be bent. And if it's comfortable, extend your left leg out. If that doesn't feel good on your low back, then go ahead and rebend it. Flex both feet if your left leg is extended and start to draw your right thigh closer towards your chest. Relax through your jaw and the muscles surrounding your eyes. Press up through your heel, draw your right toes towards your shin, and then release the foot. Bend both knees if they were both straightened. Release your foot down, extend left heel up toward the ceiling. Wrap your fingers around your left thigh, opposite clasp, so other pinky on the bottom. Play around here and see if you'd like to extend your right leg out. If you do, flex through the foot. Use your hands to draw your left thigh closer to your chest. Again, flexing through your left foot, pressing your heel toward the ceiling. Relax your shoulders down toward the mat. See if you can find more broadness through your collarbones. Focus on the exhales. And then release the thigh. Bend both knees and then make them about parallel to the ground. Extend your arms up overhead. If you would like, you could take your arms alongside your body for support. If you're looking for a little bit more zhuzh, arms up overhead, palms facing toward each other. Extend your right heel up toward the ceiling. Left leg comes out to hover. On an exhale, pull your knees back so they're about parallel, shins side by side. Inhale, right leg comes up, left leg out to hover. Exhale, pull in. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, pull in. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, pull in. Other side. Left leg goes up, right leg comes out to hover, flexing both feet. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, extend out, left leg up. Exhale, pull in. Left leg up. Exhale, pull in. Exhale, lift up, and then exhale, come in. We're gonna do it again, switching back to the right side. Right leg comes up, and then cross your left arm across. You're gonna have to lift up your shoulders, left forearm to your right thigh. And then release back down to starting position. Right leg is up, cross your body, take it back down. Right leg is up, left arm across your body, take it back down. One more time like that. Take it back down, immediately shift to the other side. Left leg goes up, right arm comes across your body. Return back to starting. Left leg up, back to starting. 2 more times. And then take your hands to the backs of your thighs, rock up and down the length of your spine. And you're going to land into your boat pose. And then grab your block if you got it. All right. So if you would use your block here, I'm going to be demonstrating this. You're going to take your block and you're going to place it between your shins. If you're not using a block, don't worry, you'll still have so much fun. So what we'll do is we're going to do a block handoff. So from this boat pose with bent knees, hands to block. Inhale, extend legs out, keep your shoulders hovered, heels to hover. Arms up overhead, exhale, bring it in. Place the block between your shins again. Come back to that hovering boat. Draw it in, switch the block to your hands, take it out. Come back in, block to your shins, extend out, back in, to hands, get long, draw in, block places to thighs or to shins, take out, come back in, set the block aside, rock over your hands and knees until you're in tabletop position. Inhale, drop your belly, reach your hips up and your heart up, coming to a cow pose. Exhale, press into the cat, press your hands and knees, pull your chin towards your chest. One more time like that, swim your heart forward, lift up, and then exhale. Curl in. Sink your hips back to your heels like a modified child's pose. Really reach your arms long, finding some advantage to this the side body bending we just did. And then on an inhale, rise to your knees. Palms together, slight back bend. Exhale, release back down to modified child's. Inhale, keep your heart low, slither forward to a cow pose. Exhale, press up into your cat pose. And then shift your hips back to your heels, modified child's once again. Rise to your knees, lift your heart up, slight back bend, maybe palms press. Exhale, bow all the way back down again. Keeping your heart low, come forward to your cow pose, gazing up. Exhale, press into cat. Tuck your toes, send your hips up and back, downward facing dog, first one of this class. So maybe take just a little bit of movement by your hips, finding a bend to your knees. Shake your head yes and no. If you need to say a little bit more no, a little bit more no. And then bend your knees, look towards the top of your mat, and on an exhale, step or hop to the top, forward fold. Breath in, halfway lift, offer your heart out, fingertips to your shins or the mat. Exhale, take it all the way back down. Hands to hips, point your elbows up toward the ceiling. Roll your shoulders on your back, chin out. Inhale, come up to standing. Exhale, arms alongside your body, Tadasana. Deep breath in. Full breath out. Bring your toes together, heels slightly apart. Sit low, Utkatasana, fierce pose. Exhale, forward fold, release. Inhale, halfway lift, offer your heart out. Exhale, fold. Step back to the top of a plank pose. Knees up or down, lower to or toward your mat through chaturanga. Untuck your toes for your back bend, be it cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, take it up and back, downward facing dog. Take just a couple breaths here. Pivot your left heel in, step your right foot all the way forward. Warrior one, ground down through both feet, rise up. Draw your low belly in, start to deepen the bend in your front knee, bringing the center of your thigh closer to parallel with the mat. Shrug your shoulders away from you. Pinkies angled in. And then on an exhale, pivot onto the ball of your back foot. Take your hands to the mat, step your right foot back. Option for a vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Exhale, lower to or toward your mat. Untuck toes, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pivot your right foot in, step your left foot all the way forward for warrior one. Knee above your heel, rise up, low belly in. Shrug your shoulders away from you. Descend your thigh. Right hip forward, left hip back. Active through your fingers, soften through your forehead. And then on an exhale, pivot on the ball of the back foot, hands come down. Step your left foot back to meet your right. Optional vinyasa. I'll meet you in downward facing dog. Take several breaths here in down dog. If your shoulders are feeling particularly tight, you could consider taking your hands a little bit wider of the mat, wrapping your inner elbows upward toward the ceiling, bending your knees as much as you need to maintain a flat spine. And then on your next exhale, bend your knees, look towards top of mat, and now make your way to the top, forward fold, toes to touch. Inhale, halfway lift, look out. Exhale, fold. Utkatasana, descend your hips, lift up your arms. Exhale, come up to standing. And then bring your hands to your heart center, arms alongside your body. Tadasana Refocus. Take a moment to compare what your body is feeling like right now compared to just a few moments ago. And then separate your feet so they're hips width distance apart. So just about 2 fists, feel free to bend your knees and place your hands to the mat to make sure you see what that is. And then you're going to sit into a chair pose, Utkatasana, fierce pose here. Arms lift up. Then you're going to lift up your heels. All right, we're going to move to several times to a drinking bird. So sweep your arms back, palms are facing down, lean forward until your torso is about even with the mat. Lift up your heels, maybe your legs become straight, keeping your heels lifted. Come back to that Utkatasana with your shoulders above your hips. Swing your arms back, drinking bird. Inhale, come back up to lifted heels, fierce pose. And then take it back once again. Inhale your arms back up. And this time, release your heels down. Step your left foot all the way to the back of the mat. Drop your back knee, Anjaneyasana. Scissor your thighs together. Lift your arms up and back. Maybe even shrug your shoulders back, trying to find a deeper back bend. Back toes tucked or untucked. Simply breathe. On your next exhale, take your hands down to frame your front foot. Definitely tuck your back toes here so you can lift up your back knee. And then you're going to spin all of your toes over to the right, coming to the razor edge of your left foot. So first, hang out here just for a moment in your IT band stretch. Left inner elbow facing forward. All right, let's make it fun. Peace fingers in your thumb. Wrap around your right big toe so you can take a bound Vashistasana. Carefully lift up your foot. Maybe keep your foot bent. Keep pressing through your left hand. Keep flexing through your left foot, and then maybe extend your right leg up toward the ceiling. 2 breaths here, but you're going to stay in this Vashistasana. Release the bind of your foot, release your leg out, your right arm up overhead. So you're hovering your right leg. On your next exhale, bring your right elbow towards your right knee in front of your body. Inhale, extend up. Exhale, pull together again. Inhale, extend out. Exhale, pull together again. Place your right foot onto the mat so you're back to this low lunge. Hands frame your front foot. Angle your left foot down. We're taking that warrior 2 downward facing dog hybrid. So lower body in warrior 2. Bring your arms and your torso out at an angle. Feel free to place your hands on a block or just come up onto spider fingers. Let your head drift down. Long, slow breaths. All right, take your arms and your torso back around the front leg so that you have more stability. And then on an exhale, unravel, warrior 2. Sit low. Maybe even lift up your right heel. Descend your hips and your thigh, and then slowly release your heel back down toward the mat. Flip your right palm up, drop your left hand to your left thigh, and then straighten the right leg, exalted triangle. Okay, from here, we're going to move into a triangle pose. Option, snake your hand around your low back so that your palm is reaching for, or the back of your hand rather, reaching to your right hip. Bump your hips to the left and start to pivot your way to the front. Your right hand comes down toward the mat. Feel free to bend the front knee. Also an option, fingers, these fingers to your right big toe. Just breathe. Start to wrap your right rib cage upward, low belly in. And if this like hand wrapping thing, this double bind is a bit too much, feel free to release one bind or even both. Just breathe. All right, look down to your mat again. Rebend into the front knee. Release both binds, pivot onto the ball of your back foot, you're back to a low lunge. Vashistasana once again. More weight to left palm, spin all toes over to the right, and then stack your right foot over your left, arm overhead, or to hover, or take the bound version. On your next exhale, bring your hand back down to the mat. You're in a plank pose. Step your right foot forward again. Step your left foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, look out. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive. Come up all the way to standing. Look up towards your palms. On an exhale, take your hands to your heart. Feel free to leave them here or bring them alongside your body. Once again, take your thoughts back to your thoughts. Invite anything away that is unnecessary, any of the clutter. And then as you're ready, lift up your arms, feet are hips width distance apart, sit low. So you come back to your Utkatasana. Lift up your heels. On an exhale, drinking bird, arms swing back, allow that to lift up your hips, come forward. Come back to to Utkatasana with your heels lifted. Exhale, arms come back, take it forward, hips lift. Inhale, come back to your Utkatasana. Exhale, swing it back, drinking bird. Come back to your Utkatasana. Release your heels, step your right foot all the way to the back of the mat, maybe wiggle, wiggle, wiggle back, and then drop your right knee down, Anjayanasana. Shrug your shoulders back, wrap your pinkies toward each other, but keep some space between your hands, at least shoulder width distance, maybe even more. Scissor your thighs together. On your next exhale, release both hands down to the mat. Definitely tuck your back toes here to lift up the back knee. Spin all your toes over to the left, coming into that IT band stretch. So flexing both toes, and then let's move toward our Vashistasana. Bound option, peace fingers to the big toe. Start to lift up. Maybe you've got your knee in. This is quite good. Or maybe you'd like to extend out. Every option is your right thing to do. Every option is the pose. All right, if you've taken that bound angle, that bound Vashistasana, that is, release the foot, hover the left leg over the right, lift your left arm up over the top of your left ear. On an exhale, bring your elbow and knee toward each other in front of your body. Inhale, extend out. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, extend out. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, extend out. Maybe take your toe in your hand again. And you're gonna place your foot towards the top of your mat so you're in this low lunge. Any way you want to get there is the way you're gonna get there. Release the toe. Angle your right foot down like warrior two. And we'll take the warrior two down dog hybrid. Take your torso and your arms over at an angle. Lower body is in warrior two. Upper body in downward facing dog. Option to be up on finger pads or a block. It's okay if your bum sticks out. Draw your inner left thigh forward. Continue to breathe, maybe sink your hips a little bit lower. All right, lift up your torso and your arms, and then frame your front foot, finding that stability. And then on an exhale, unravel, warrior two, first time on the side. Continue to press through the outer edge of the right foot. Reach out to the inner left thigh like you're just doing that hybrid pose. And again, maybe lift up the left heel, drop your hips and your thigh, and then begrudgingly release your heel back down to the mat. Flip your left palm up, lift it up toward the ceiling, right hand to right thigh, straighten the left leg, coming into an exalted triangle. Draw your low belly in. Notice if you're starting to get an arc in your low back. Again, option to snake your right hand around your back of hand to left hip. Hinge your hips back, reach forward with your left fingertips, coming to triangle pose. So left hand comes down to your thigh, your calf, ankle, the mat, or if you'd like to play again, peace fingers to your left big toe, bound triangle, regardless of the option you've taken. It's all triangle poses, all Ultrikanasana. So you're going to reach the crown of your head towards the front of the room. Draw your low belly in, rotate upward, soften through your forehead, breathe. And see, even in this pose, I know it's tough to do, but attempt to shorten the distance between your right ribs and your right hip. This gives you just a little bit more lift through the left side of your body. All right, so you're going to release the right hand, take it down to the mat, rebend into the front knee, so you're in a low lunge, release the foot. Once again, we're gonna take that Vashistasana pose. Spin all your toes over to the left, and then either stay here in your IT band stretch, or move to Vashistasana, any variation you'd like, maybe bound, maybe hover, maybe more traditional. Just breathe, inner elbow points forward, soft through your face. And then when you're ready, on an exhale, left hand comes down, left foot comes down, you're in a plank pose. Just breathe. Step your left foot forward to the top of your mat, low lunge. Step your right foot forward, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Root to rise, come up all the way to standing. Chin turns up, palms lift. Exhale, hands to heart. Feel free to leave them here. Bring your arms alongside your body. Allow your eye gaze to soften. And if you'd like, allow your eyelids to close. Get your hands wherever they are. Feel your energy that you've created, the heat that you've created, moving through your body, lifting up tall through the crown of your head, and pressing down through your feet. Grounding down, allowing you to grow taller. When you're ready, blink your eyes open. Arms lift up, bend through your knees, Utkatasana. Lift up your heels. Swing your arms back, drinking bird. Lift up your heels. Come back to your Utkatasana. Swing your arms back, drinking bird. And then come back, Utkatasana. Release your heels, step your left foot all the way back, drop your knee, Anjaneyasana. Scissor your thighs together, slight back bend. Notice how this is the same or different than it was earlier. On your next exhale, take your hands back down to the mat. Lift up your back knee, and we're going to take that downward facing dog, warrior two hybrid again. So angle the left foot down, take your torso and your arms out to the side. 2 more breaths here. And then walk your torso and arms back to the front foot. Find your stability. Press to the outer left foot, and when you're ready, unravel. Warrior two, sit low. Look beyond your right middle finger. Shrug your shoulders down. And use your left leg strength as much as your right. Exalted Triangle. Drop the left hand to the thigh, straighten the right leg, lift your right arm up and back. Option to snake your left hand around your low back. Bump your hips to the back of your mat and then hinge forward, coming all the way down. Maybe bending your knee, maybe hands to thigh, calf, ankle, or take that bind once again. Fingertips to your, these fingers to your big toe. Again, wrap your low belly in, and then start to wrap your right rib cage up toward the ceiling. And at any time you want to break any of these binds, please do so. All right, release the bind that you've taken. We're going to take a wide-legged fold. So you're going to circle your torso towards alongside of your mat. Take your right toes with you. So the outer edges of your feet are about parallel with the short sides of your mat. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. You might find that you'd like to walk your hands back. Just make sure you're sending the weight more into the balls of your feet. Soften through your neck, soften through your jaw. If you'd like to take a headstand here, I will not be guiding through it, but if this is a part of your practice, please feel free to take headstand. We'll be here for 4 more breaths. About now, after that 4th exhale, if you're in headstand, begin to remove yourself from it. Inhale, come up halfway. We're going to take a skandasana to the left side. So send your left toes out to the left, drop your hips toward your left heel, right toes come up. We'll be here for several breaths. So you can have your hands down to the mat for more support, or maybe bring your hands in toward your heart center as you allow your hips to descend down toward the mat. Shoulder blades back, breathe. Release your hands back down to the mat. Come back to that wide-legged fold. Bring your toes back in. Breath in, halfway lift. This time on an exhale, you're going to pivot back to the front of your mat so that you're in a low lunge once again. We're going to move from this posture to a half moon pose. So we talked about this before. You might want to pop your left foot in just a little bit so you've got shorter distance to go. Lean forward. Right hand is going to be out at an angle of your right pinky toe, hand to mat or to a block. What we're looking for is wrist, elbow, shoulder. Lift up your left leg. Then take a look at your left toes and see if you can get it in line with your nose. I know that sometimes messes with your balance, but this is all part of the game. Start to rotate your right rib cage upward. Maybe lift your left fingertips up toward the ceiling. Breathe here. Breathe, breathe, breathe. So you can grow longer here as we did before when we were in our Tadasana pose. And then take a little bit of a bend to your right knee so you can place your left hand down onto the mat. Start to tilt your left hip down. Stand your left foot all the way to the back of the mat so you're in a low lunge. Or weight to your left palm, to your right fingertips up toward the ceiling. Spin all your toes away from you. We're in Vashistasana again. I'm sorry, in IT band stretch. If you'd like Vashistasana, please take your Vashistasana pose, yogi's choice. Maybe you have your feet stacked, maybe one foot is hovering, perhaps you've taken the bind. 3 more breaths. And when you're ready, you're going to take your right hand back down to the mat, step your right foot all the way back so you're in a plank pose. We'll stay out here in plank just for a few breaths. Inner elbows point forward. Soften through your neck. Maybe move it around a little bit if you're starting to get a little bit tense. Low belly in. Press up and back to downward facing dog. 3 more breaths. Bend your knees, look towards the top of your mat, and on an exhale, step or hop all the way to the top. Forward fold. Breath in, half lift. Exhale, fold. Root to rise, come up all the way to standing. And on an exhale, hands to your heart center. Leave them here. Bring your arms alongside your body to Tadasana. 3 breaths. As you're ready, lift your hands back up toward the ceiling. Bend through your knees, Utkatasana. Lift up your heels. Sweep your arms back on an exhale, drinking a bird, tilt forward. Inhale, back to heels lifted, Utkatasana. Drinking bird. Fierce pose. Drinking bird. Fierce pose. Release your heels, take your right foot all the way back to the back of your mat. Drop your right knee on Svanasana. Shrug your shoulders back, allow your heart to be large and lifted. On your next exhale, hands down to the mat. Pop up your back knee and then angle the foot down for warrior two in the legs. And then take downward facing dog and your torso over to the side. Once you get to where you're going, 2 breaths. And then lift back up, take your torso back to your front foot. Unravel, warrior two as you're ready. Shrug your shoulders back, reach back with your back fingertips, look beyond your left middle finger. And then we will take our exalted triangle. Right hand drops to the thigh, left knee extends, left arm lifts up. And then option to snake your right hand around your low back so that the back of your hand is to your hip. Bump your hips to the right and then reach out forward, forward, forward for a triangle pose. Again, maybe a bent knee, hand to thigh, calf, ankle, or if you'd like, take that bind to your toes once again. Low ribs in, low belly in. Wave your spine long, continue to press with your outer right foot. And again, anytime you want to break any of these binds, break the bind. What is going to allow you to have a slower breath, softness through the back of your neck, and to focus on what is serving you, your dedication for this practice. All right, do break both of your binds. You're going to take a wide-legged fold to the right side of your mat. So take your left toes with you as you bring yourself over. So your toes are going to be ever so slightly pointed in. Inhale, lift out halfway. If you're like me, you're just about going to hit a wall. And then exhale, hinge forward, shifting the weight over to the balls of your feet once again. So you can start to walk your hands back, deepening this. If you've got your head on the ground and you do this, you might want to consider taking a headstand if that is in your practice. Again, I won't be guiding for that. Or bring your feet closer together so there's more distance between the crown of your head and the floor. 4 more breaths. Inhale to lift halfway up. And then we're going to take skandasana. So shift your hips over to the right. Your right knee comes up, left toes come up. So again, your feet are onto the mat, or you can bring your hands into your heart center. Taking a little bit more balance here, shrug your shoulders back, allow your hips to descend down. You might feel a fairly intense stretch across your right ankle. If it's something that needs to be relieved, again, take your hands down toward the mat. All right, release your hands to the mat if you took that prayer version. Bring your body back through center for that wide-legged fold. Inhale, come up halfway. And then on an exhale, pivot back towards the front of your mat for a low lunge. Or weight to your right palm, spin all your toes away from you. You're coming into that IT band stretch. Option to take Vashistasana, side plank. Any variation that suits you, whether it is bound, hovered, feet stacked, feet staggered. Just breathe. And remember, if any time you want to back down, your breath, your focus are the most important aspects. And then when you're ready, draw your left hand down to the mat. Left foot goes back if it's not already. Plank pose. Come down to your forearms. Forearms parallel to each other, or you can interlace your fingertips if your shoulders are just not having it today. Stay right here if you'd like, or start to move toward dolphin, walking your feet in closer to you. So the bottom part of your body is in kind of like this downward facing dog shape. Continue to press your forearms into the mat so that you're not dipping into your shoulders. Everything is bright and strong. On exhales, maybe start to step your feet in just the tiniest bit closer. Focus on long exhales. And then release your knees to the mat. Option to take child's pose, hips to heels. Or if you prefer to be sitting in thunderbolt pose or another posture that you find to be restful, find a posture that feels restful to you. Allow your eye gaze to soften or close your eyes. And once again, take note of your breath. Take note of the temperature of your skin, the quality of your thoughts, what gets churned up, what has been loosened so that you can let it go, what binds you're able to release. You have the next 3 breaths to yourself, whether it's to remain in this restful pose that you've chosen, to take some water, work on another pose. We will meet in downward facing dog. Your first of 3 breaths begins now. About now, you might be finishing up that 3rd breath. Begin your transition back to downward facing dog. Deep inhale, full exhale. Bend your knees, look beyond your fingertips, and then hop to a seat in the center of your mat. Take your hands to the backs of your thighs, lean back, shrug your shoulders back, and then if you'd like, bring your arms out alongside your body. And then slowly, slowly, slowly wind yourself down onto your mat, articulating every curve of your back as you lower. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Without using your hands, draw your left thigh in closer to your body as much as you can, and then thread the needle, flexing through both feet, drawing left thigh closer to your chest. And then release the thigh, let your left foot come onto the mat, but keep your leg crossed as it is. Drop both legs over to the left, so you come onto your left thigh and your right foot comes into the mat. Press your elbows into the mat so you can rotate your chest up and to the left. Send your gaze over to the right if that's comfortable on your neck. Take your chin back to center. Lift up both your knees, uncross. Stand down, cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Without the use of your arms, draw your right thigh in close to your chest, as far as you can go, and then thread the needle. Interlacing your fingertips the opposite way, maybe a little bit awkward. Draw your left knee away from you as you pull your right thigh closer to you. Release the right leg, place your foot to the mat, keeping the legs crossed as they are. Drop both legs over to the right so you're on the right thigh, left foot is to the mat. Press your upper arms and elbows into the mat so you can rotate the right side of your ribcage upward. Send your gaze over to the left. Bring your head back to center. Draw both legs up. Uncross. Place your feet onto the mat. Take your feet a bit wider so they're about as wide as your mat. Drop both knees over toward the right. You might even want to place your right ankle on top of your left thigh. Unhook that, and then bring both knees up toward the ceiling, and then drop both knees over to left. Again, an option to place your left ankle over your right thigh for an additional weight. You might feel a deeper stretch through your psoas, even to the side of your body. If this provides you with discomfort, just uncross. Unhook the foot if you took that variation. Take both knees back up toward the center. Draw both knees in towards your chest in relieving pose. Wrap your arms around your shins. Pull your forehead up towards your knees. Tighten yourself up into a tiny ball. Squeeze your fists, squeeze your toes, squeeze your eyes. Take a very deep breath in. And then on an exhale, release everything. Soften through your eyes, your fingertips. Final posture of this class is Shavasana. Extend your legs out in front of you. Maybe you'd like to take a different variation. Perhaps you chose something at the beginning of this class, like placing a blanket under your knees, a different positioning of your feet. Take the time that you need to come to a place where you can find stillness. Take a scan of your body from toes, all the way up your legs, to your pelvis, your chest, down to your arms, up through your head. And then take another body scan from top to toes. And then systematically begin to remove any muscular tension, allowing your body to simply be supported by the ground beneath it, or any props that you may be using. As your shoulders drift down to the mat, allowing your heart to lift up, soft belly, soft up through the back of your neck and up around your skull. Bottom jaw separate from the top, and release your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Note the energy circling through your body that you've created, the warmth that you've made, and then simply allow yourself to be. Slowly drawing a deeper breath, imagining the breath could go and travel all the way down to your feet, all the way to your extremities. Soft exhale. Once again, recognize this energy, this radiance that you possess, and then slowly begin to invite movement back into your body. As you're ready, roll over onto your right side, pull your knees in towards you, perhaps using your arm as a pillow. Allowing yourself to recognize this transition from your corpse pose into the rest of your day. And then with your eyes closed as best you can, come to a seated posture of your choice for a very brief reflection and meditation. On an inhale, bring your arms out and up, palms to press above you, send your chin up. And on an exhale, take your thumbs to the space between your eyebrows for clarity of thought, to your lips for clarity of speech, and then to your heart for clarity of action. Bow your head to your heart in humility, gratitude, and honor. Offering yourself some gratitude for this body that has carried you so long through this moment. Offering yourself gratitude for making time for this practice, for clearing away any of the clutter, realizing that this is something that you can return to, that you can continue to cultivate. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you in this practice. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. I can't wait to see you guys out in the world. Sat-cit-ananda. Namaste.